It was the 27th of March, 2017. Another successful title defense is what I had foreseen. Another day at the office. My button-up was a pink shirt. My pants were my purple tights. And my belt? Well, my belt was truly my belt, because it held everything up. But that was until it happened. Everything was up in my life until I lost my belt. My belt was as red as the gown worn by the belle at the ball, with gold plates as bright as the light seen from a NASA spacecraft. The Fighting Championship. It was one of the only things I could say that was truly mine, other than a few other non-wrestling related items, but still, the one they call Hollow Point. The one they call The Call. The call made by my producer, Kane Churko. What could it have been about? What was so important? He was more distracted than a husband in an argument with his wife while football is on. I got lost. I got lost in my own distractions. As they say, 2 wrongs make a right, but 2 distractions make an action. And finally, I was speared. The 27th of March was the day I had feared. But wasn't it the 26th?
Tenacious Time Podcast. It's Tenacious Time Podcast. Oh, grab your friends if you have any and come and have a great time with your host, Ricky Tenacious.
Hello, hi, and how are you? And welcome to the 24th episode of the Tenacious Time Podcast. I'm your host with the most, the longest reigning, most offending, youngest ever Big Valley Wrestling fight. Oh, wait. That's right. So yeah, I'll just get to the chase. It's true. I lost my belt. I'm no longer the Big Valley Wrestling Fighting Champion. I held it for 289 days with a total of 13 successful defenses. And then, of course, yesterday was my unsuccessful defense. So I don't really count that. But if you want to, you could say altogether I had 14 defenses. Been a hell of a ride. I'll tell you that right now. It's really heart-stabbing when you lose something, especially when it's so dear to you, you know? Something you wake up with every day, you wear all the time. It gets in the way of daily activities, but that's okay, because that's kind of a part of the responsibilities. But I don't really have that anymore. Speaking about the whole anymore part, people have been asking me, what's next for you, Ricky? I mean, what are you going to do now? You know, you're not the champion. You're not going to be doing open challenges. That's not really a question that I feel like I need to find the answer to. I feel like the answer to that will come to me. Because right now, I need to sit down with my producer, Kane Churko, and me and him have to have a very detailed conversation about what had happened in my match with Hollow Point. Who was on the phone, what it was about, how important it was. At the same time, you know, I don't really want to blame myself. I don't want to say, you know, maybe I should have just been focused on the match. But God damn it, I was so concerned about who was on the phone. But enough about that. We're not here to talk about that. We're not here to talk about my title loss. We're here to talk about my podcast, the 24th episode. Because I don't I don't sob over. I don't sob. Oh. 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 Ow. Ow. We interrupt the Tenacious Time Podcast with a few words from our sponsors. Hey, man.
What's up?
You want to take a dump?
What?
A dump. You want one?
Not really into that stuff, man.
No, dude. A dump. The new dumpling-flavored chewing gum.
Oh, whoa! Sure, I'll take a dump.
Me too.
We can take a dump together.
Now introducing Dump, the dumpling-flavored chewing gum. Now in select flavors such as chow mein dumps, taco dumps, ice cream dumps, and we have dumps that everyone can take. Little-sized dumps, plus-sized dumps. Not feeling like a full dump today? Well, we have half dumps in bite-sized pieces.
I can take a dump in the comfort of my own home.
I can take a dump on a date with my wife.
I can take a dump with my kid.
Take a dump with us today! Dumpling chewing gum, now being sold at select locations. Ugh. And we're back here. Ugh. On the podcast. That's not the sound of me drinking alcohol. That's me vaping. That's what that is. Okay. What the hell? What the hell else do we have here? Okay, here we go. You know what's really good is Dump, the dumpling flavored chewing gum, the official sponsor of the Tenacious Time. Oh wait, I just did that. Oh yeah, what else do we have? Ugh. Ugh. Nothing says happiness like vodka at 11 a.m., right? Alright, okay, I can do this. Here we go, okay. Okay, so we have, now, on today's podcast, we have, Jesus, I'm so trying to get even next second. Here we go. Okay, so now we're gonna, here's the radio special from my podcast last week, but, every time the station changes, it speeds up by 5%. Here we, yeah, here's that.
This podcast contains adult language, sensitive humor, and is not suitable for all ages. The views expressed in this podcast do not reflect the views or beliefs of the companies associated with the guests or the hosts of this podcast. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Thank you.
Tenacious Time Podcast. It's Tenacious Time Podcast. Oh, grab your friends if you have any and come and have a great time with your host, Ricky Tenacious.
So, Ricky, tell us, who's going to be your guest on the show today? My guest? Boring.
Today's top story on News 13. A man has had his entire book collection collapse on him. Reporters say he only had his shelf to blame. Hey folks, is your computer old, out of data, not up with the times? Well, that's alright, because we here at Computer Call have just this setup for you. Now presenting the brand spanking new Supercomputer version 1. This laptop comes with USB ports galore, 7 gigabytes of data, and its own portable printer that you can bring with you anywhere. Purchase now for only $699. Currently being sold at anywhere there is computers. Buy now!
Welcome back to the Comedy Courthouse with today's comedian, Joel Reach. Thank you very much. It's great to be here. Okay, so, So one time, this Muslim dude asked me, hey, where's the 7-Eleven? And I said, 7-Eleven? More like 9/11, right? Right? Right, guys? Right? Well, that wasn't funny at all. Today's top story. How did that get in there? The life and times of a legendary porn star, Ron Jeremy.
Hey everybody, we're back. Sorry about that. I guess I'm a little off my game today, off my whole feng shui of the day, because it just feels like something's missing. Yeah, today's podcast is going to be cut just a little bit short. But you know me, I always got to post the podcast. I got to do it. All right. Don't forget Dumplings. Dumps, the official sponsor of the Tenacious Time Podcast, sold in select stores everywhere. Take a dump today, why don't you? Ugh. Okay. But so before we get out of here, I just wanted to mention, and also before I forget, thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. Wherever you are now, maybe jogging to lose the weight, driving because you're bored, in class because you procrastinate, or maybe you're at a wrestling show right now watching me. That'd be pretty weird. But anyway, I just wanted to say yesterday's BVW show, Madhouse, despite the events that transpired with myself, which I feel like I've dwelled on too much, despite those events, I think the event in general was definitely very successful. Very awesome vibe. I think it was one of the most successful BVW shows to date. The place was packed to the rim. There were so many people there. It was packed to the hockey walls, man. Every seat was filled. We had to set up chairs behind the hockey wall. We called it the safety area because in case people didn't want to get too close to the action. But just to see the whole area filled up, man, like. I could imagine if we just took that ring and put it in the middle of the hockey rink, which is possibly something that could happen pretty soon. BVW is a house that is surely being built, and it has the best contractors in there. It has the best construction workers. It has really dedicated and motivated people that want to build this house and make it the best it can be. So that it's not even. It's like it's almost done, It's almost fully built now, but people are already starting to knock on our doors. You know what I'm saying? BVW, Big Valley Wrestling. Speaking of Big Valley Wrestling, they have a title called the Fighting Championship that I lost and I had for 200. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. It's all right. It's all right. Anyway, thank you for listening this afternoon. I'll be back next Monday with a guest this time. I just wanted to sit down and air my grievances. But if you haven't yet, check out the unedited original version of the radio podcast I posted last week. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I worked pretty hard on that. There will be more of those to come, however. I guarantee that. I definitely want to do this at least like once a month. Just, something that can expand the whole world of the Tenacious Time Podcast. And I'm pretty sure by now you've already changed the station, if you can even do that with podcast or switch to another podcast. But either way, thank you for listening. This is only the 24th episode. Get ready for the 25th. It's going to happen. And then there was 26th of March, where I lost my... Okay, I really got to stop. But no matter what happens, even though there may be negative in the world, like what I'm going through right now with losing my belt, sometimes you just got to look at the positives more. Sometimes you just have to realize that there's always something better in the world. That sometimes you just have to dust yourself off and move forward. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move forward and take a step forward. I'm going to step forward into my producer's office and have a very detailed sit-down meeting with him about what happened. And we're going to make sure things like this don't ever happen again. Because sometimes you have to plan for the future and forget your past. And that's tenacious. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you all next week. and buy some of that dump chewing gum.
Thank you if you're still listening. I try my best not to bore the people that listen to our thoughts, 'cause it's Tenacious Tenation Time Podcast. Oh, grab your cat and your friends and have a great time. Forget about the voices that tell you to commit suicide, 'cause it's Tenacious Time Podcast. This is the end of the Tenacious Time Podcast for today.